Today we'll be talking about disadvantages of early marriage. Disadvantages of early marriage, both on the men and on the women. Okay, I'll be real quick and I'll start with the women. Number one is that when you hear of abusive marriage, now for their way they live, the reason is because the woman is not matured, and if the guy is also not matured, and there you go find fights, and there you go find beating, and there you go find violence, and then when these things begin happen, you find out that the reason is simple, the woman only down for one day pray for her husband, so she doesn't know the value, so she talks anyhow, she behaves anyhow, and then she could go, to the level of doing anything, because she's not matured, especially when she's badly raised, and then maybe she not even listen to people, she not even listen to advice. She feels I'm young, so last I go find my way, so you find out that she might not be submissive enough, to the man because she not really beg for the husband. Now there you go here, auntie, go open mouth, they talk, say, I beg you, make you marry me. I beg you, make you marry me, and stuff like that. And sometimes you find out that, it will not end well. Number two is when you hear this single mother now, you find out that you find them within the range of 25 to 30. A girl is 30, she's already a single mother. Not that some of these people, didn't get married, they just got pregnant out of wedlock. No, some of them actually got married, but because they were not matured enough to handle that marriage well, to be able to stay in marriage, so it's easy for them to walk away. They still have friends in that same circle who will advise them. After all, you're still very young. If that man to do, you come out, go find another person. After all, you're still a beautiful girl, another man will still marry you. Now, the same thing you're fighting your husband for, at 35, 40, you want to go into it. You're fighting this man because you feel he's chasing some small girls outside, and at 30, 35, 40, you now need a helper. You now begin to feel the heat of being a single person, so you want to remarry again. You now want to be a victim of what you are fighting against. So the truth about it is when you're matured, when woman don't mature, where husband don't hungry, if she enter marriage, she go rest, her head go calm down. Within that range of 25, 30 and above, her mate don't they marry them, so she don't they see say, her mate don't they marry, are living large. The ones that are lucky, their husband buy them can, all of that. So those things go they hungry them. If they enter a marriage, they will calm down, than the ones that either they rush or somebody, advise them, say just marry and stuff like that. Between that age of 20, 21, 23, let's say from 18 to about 25, they get different, women, they get different body at that age because everything is still developing. So they find themselves very attractive and pretty. So to them, if you marry them at that age, they'll be looking at it like, after all, I still be fine girl. People see they tell me hi and hello on the road. So they might not really have that coordination to be able to stay strong as a wife. Okay, I go over to the men. Okay, number one, for early marriage for a man, now them be the abuser themselves, The reason is because they are not matured. They are not matured enough to tolerate a woman, They do not know that there are other means of punishing a woman instead of beating her, So a guy of 23, 4, 5, who is still very vibrant, who still he just fell in love and then he feels, my body they shake, make I marry, settle down, all those kind of things. You find out that he doesn't have a proper coordination to tolerate a woman, to fix a woman and say, this is where you belong. Of course, a guy who is 23, 4, 5 cannot marry somebody who is older. He will have to marry a younger person. So both of them are very mature. They probably marry somebody of 18, 19, 20. So you find out that the both of them are very young. So they barely understand what marriage is all about. And you find out that things might not really go well, Things might not really go well as long as I'm concerned because, if you check very well, in those days in secondary school, you had your normal secondary school friend, probably whether we call them friends or lover, When you get into university or when you advance and leave secondary school, you find out that those kind of people, you were so much interested in them that you write letter to give and all of that. You no longer find them attractive. They are no longer to the standard you need, So that moment where you don't catch that love, catch the feelings, by the time you come in and find out that this person is not giving you the adequate what is it called? Adequate respect you desire as a husband, you will begin to beat, and at the end of the day, it might not go well. The number 2 disadvantage is that he will grow older, to find out that the person he got married to is not his spec, is not his standard of woman. It's not somebody he's supposed to end up with, but because that early love will enter your head, he decided to get down and marry the person. He will begin to realize that it's like, I made a mistake. If I had waited, see beautiful girls, now see fine girls. Now they hear all those things when women, they feel and a lie. If I had met you before my wife, I would have married you. Sometimes it's a lie, sometimes it's a fact. The reason is because they are not, how do I put it? They don't have that confidence in that person they married again. They are not proud of that person, and you begin to find out that they will begin to run around and begin to probably chase women and begin to do things that are not healthy because they are not matured. They don't really settle down, chop more, chop kanda, and every other things. If you're that kind of person, anyway, of course, it's not advisable to be that kind of person, a flex and all of that. But the truth is, you must have seen it all. If you're a coordinated person or someone who has self-control, you must have taken your time to choose and see that this is what you want. And when you get it, you will be relaxed, you'll be comfortable. You will see everything to be the same, But when you go in very young, and as you advance, you begin to think that what you took earlier, is not something that, befits your standard of person, or something that you're supposed to hold on to till the end. You probably might look for a second wife if time is not taken. Number three and the last, when he becomes wealthier, let's say you got married at 23, 24, by then you never really get money. Maybe not small money enter your hand because you love this girl so much, you end up with her, you marry her, Now you will find out that the girl you married probably has not gone to school, has not done a certain thing or attain a certain level, And by the time you don't make money, better money don't enter your hand. Maybe you don't build house, you don't do business, things don't work well. And you find out the power of money, that even that graduate, out there, you can get her with a snip of your finger and she comes, So you begin to look at those areas, to see that you could get any girl you want, as long as the money is there. You spend any amount on her and then she falls, So there's every tendency for you not to value the person you have in the house. There's every tendency for you to begin to look down on that person you have in the house as a wife, because you didn't have enough money then to go for what you feel you want. There's every reason for you to begin to misbehave because you believe that the person you have outside now, that you can say, sit down here and she sits down, is a graduate, is a master degree holder, why the person you have in the house does not have, So when you begin to make money, you find out that you probably begin to think that you made the wrong choice, because you now have the money and you can control any woman you want. So if time is not taken, you begin to disrespect the one and neglect the one that you have in the house because you feel you have the money, you control graduate, you control master degree holder, you control professor, and they listen to you. So who is this one in the house? So if you're not coordinated, if you're not matured, you probably might begin to behave anyhow, begin to treat the one you have in the house anyhow because you feel the ones that are even more beautiful, the ones that are even more educated, listens to you because of what you've got. So the point I'm making is when you are matured and when you have made some money, and then go for a woman, you are actually matured. You've seen it all. You're going for what you want, and you can always get what you want, and you will have peaceful marriage. That's my message for today. My name is Oblings. Help me like, share, comments, and follow me for more tips. One love.